I'm live. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to all of y'all. Welcome to episode, I don't know, 166, I think it is. Welcome to Cliff Notes Live. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I may be just a couple of minutes late because even though it's President's Day, at least for us here in the States, even though it's President's Day, doesn't mean that I didn't still have to work. I know some people had the day off. Yeah, not me so much. I've been running all over town and didn't want to miss this. So just got in, got set up. So thank you for bearing with me for just a few minutes. Welcome to all of y'all. Welcome to February 19th or so. Hope y'all all had a fantastic Valentine's Day. Maybe we'll talk about that in a second. But before we do that, first of all, a big old SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love reality TV. Especially love you guys that hang out with me here every Monday night. And those of you who watch on repeat as well. Replay? Whichever. Don't want to forget about y'all, but thank y'all for the support. I do appreciate it. It just makes Monday nights kind of fun. I was listening to a song while I was driving back here. Most of y'all probably don't even remember it or know it. But if you haven't thought of it or haven't heard a song called I Hate Mondays by the Boomtown Rats, the big deal with Boomtown Rats is Bob Geldof, who did Live Aid back in the day. Doesn't seem like it's that long ago, but he was the leader of the Boomtown Rats. I didn't find the song. It's all about Mondays and all that. But having you guys makes it all a lot more fun. So welcome aboard to all of y'all. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel, turning on notifications, and maybe hitting one of those little thumbs up as well. I've got some exciting news. We're going to talk a little bit about it. I got a couple of things coming up on the schedule for next week and the week after. And then before you know it, we're into Big Brother Canada, Big Brother, regular old Big Brother US as well. It's all coming hard and fast. We didn't get Celebrity Big Brother this year, but we got the reindeer games. And then we got the real thing coming up. So I'm excited for all of that. All right. Before we go any further, did I miss anything else? Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second, I'm sure. But let me see who's out here real quick. And then we'll get into a few questions, a few comments. Kind of open topic today, guys. I figured I'd maybe tell, I don't know, a political story here or there without getting political, if you know what I mean. Talk a little about Valentine's Day, reality TV, and then whatever else y'all got in mind. All right, Cindy Heyer. Hey, Cindy, is it a special day for you? I think it is. Happy birthday to you, Cindy. Congratulations, my friend. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're going to talk about Cindy a little bit more in a second. All right. Hey, Cindy, how are you? Brian Hotsteller. Brian, how are you? Jake, the horror movie geek. Karen Hummer. LJ Price. Kennedy Frank, and I love seeing these names out here every night. Ma is angry. Ma, how's school doing? Mark Taylor, Angie Hung. Hey, Angie, how are you? I guess gymnastics was a little delayed tonight, perhaps. Marilyn Sutherland, Lawrence Santiago, and Nunez 1919. Let's see, Pam Thorne. Hey, Pam, how are you doing? Tommy Flanagan. Andy Yum Yum. How are you doing, Andy? Or should I just say Yum Yum? Wyatt Garrett. Wyatt, how are you, sir? Hope you're doing up well up in the Metroplex. Noah Lemon, Vicky Stone, and Terry Thomas. Welcome to all y'all. I hope y'all are doing fantastic. I don't know how you're doing in your neck of the woods. It's like 80 degrees outside. I woke up this morning, had a jacket on. By the time I got back this afternoon, I was not stripping down. That gives the wrong. I certainly had lost the jacket. Yeah, we're into. We had our winter for a couple of weeks. Now we're back into the springtime and all that, and I'm looking forward to it. We talked about Valentine's. I hope y'all had a fantastic Valentine's Day with everything that you did. Sharon and I kind of played it low key, middle of the week, so you can't really go off. Well, I guess some people can go off for weekends. I can't. I had to work, but we came back and. Just had a little fancy homemade meal at home, then sat out in the backyard around a fire pit, and it's still kind of cold last week. So it was nice just being a little casual and having a fire and enjoying the last little bit of cold temps that we had here in Houston. And no, we didn't roast marshmallows, but we should have. We did that getting ready to sneeze, so bear with me. And now that's going to happen for the next 5 minutes. Oh, well, live TV, streaming, whatever. All right. Yeah, we did that. Now, I mentioned to y'all before, I think I mentioned that we got a Ninja Creamy for Christmas. So we made all kinds of different flavors to celebrate Valentine's Day. Hot candy flavored, cherry flavored. Still getting ready to sneeze. I just Achoo! At least I was off screen, right? Uh, we had all kinds of flavors for Valentine. We tried to do uh, Valentine's Day type flavors on Wednesday. So I had strawberry flavored ice cream. I love my strawberries. Sharon had some cherry flavored ice creams, and we just had fun with it. But today, National Chocolate Mint Ice Cream Day. Ice cream or just chocolate mint day? I think it's just chocolate mint, but that's where you have mint and chocolate combined, right? So welcome. Maybe we'll have a little ice cream with a little mint on it as well for this evening. So happy National Mint Chocolate Day for all of y'all. Sounds pretty good. I can get into all of those. Makes me think of Girl Scout Thin Mints. I've eaten my share of the Thin Mints from the Girl Scouts. My daughter was in Girl Scouts for a little while. I certainly had nieces, certainly a whole lot of neighborhood girls. It's unfortunate. The neighborhood we live in, as everyone, all the families get a little older, we don't have as many girls there in Girl Scouts. It was great in the earlier days. The first day that Girl Scout cookies went on sale, we'd have 20 girls come to the door. And Sharon to be saying, "What are you doing, Cliff? You've answered the door 20 times. You don't even do that for Halloween, but suddenly Girl Scout cookies, you're up at that door every single time." It's like, well, I can't let those little brownie Girl Scouts down. I got to buy cookies from each and every one of them, right? Yeah, we had a lot of cookies there for a while. We used to put cookies. I'd buy so many that we would put them in the freezer and hold on to them so that you had them later on in the year when they weren't available. Man, I should have put them on eBay or something and sold them when they were in high demand and made a fortune. But such is life. So yeah, that sounds pretty good right now. Some Girl Scout cookies. All right, let's see what else was. We've got a few questions here. Mark Taylor saying, "What do you think of the Traitors this year?" Uh, I don't know. I'll say this. I like the people playing the game. I like the fact that there's some people who've actually figured out ways to set traps to catch people who may be traitors as opposed to faithful. And without going into spoilers, because I'm trying to avoid that, because I know not all of y'all have watched it yet, so I won't go into spoilers. But setting those traps, there's a smart person or two in there that's playing this game and making it work well. So, from a strategy play, I've enjoyed it. The people that are playing, I've enjoyed it. But I almost feel like I enjoyed last year's season one a little bit more. And maybe it's just because it was new to me. It was a whole new idea, a whole new concept. And so the first half of the Traitors, I feel like people spend too much time trying to identify the traitors, and it's too hard to do. I just don't know that you should worry about so much. I think I've said it on here before. If I was playing in the Traitors, Netflix, call me, or not Netflix, Peacock. It's on Peacock. Call me Peacock. But no, if I Karen Hummer saying, "Where's Traitors streaming?" Yeah, there you go. It's on Peacock, Karen. Not a streaming service that we normally have, but we broke down. We said, all right, we'll pay for 1 month or 2 months. I think it's like $6 a month, just so we can watch. It's cheaper than going to the movies, right? So it's worth it to watch the Traitors. If I was on there, I wouldn't even be worried about trying to figure out who the traitors are, who aren't the traitors in the first half. Now I'd be keeping notes, and I'd be in my head. I'd be trying to think of a bit for the later game. But in the beginning, heck, work with a traitor. Even so, grab 4 or 5 people. Say, look, the chances are one of us is a traitor. Hopefully, whoever it is will protect the rest of us in exchange for us protecting you at banishment. I think there's still some strategies to be had that maybe aren't getting fully utilized yet. And so I'm enjoying it. We look forward to it. Now, here's the thing. Thursday nights, seems like there's always something going on, one thing or another. We don't always have a chance to watch it. So then I have to stay off social media from Thursday night into usually Friday afternoon when I'm through with work, and then we watch it because I don't want to get anything spoiled. So far, I've been pretty lucky. Now, I kind of knew a couple of weeks ago what was going on, I thought, but no, I'm enjoying it. I think it's fun. It's tough, though, these shows that are on Netflix and Peacock and all of that, where now this isn't binging, so I shouldn't say it. They dropped a couple episodes in the beginning, but now it's once per week. So I don't know. Maybe with that being said, maybe starting next week, I'll assume that people who want to watch it have already watched it. So maybe we'll start talking spoilers next week, because we can talk a lot more once we get into who went home, right? So yeah, maybe we'll do that. So y'all ask me about it again next week. I'll give a little bit more details. But for now, since I didn't give a spoiler, we'll just leave it at that. I'm enjoying it. I love any kind of reality show that has people matching wits with each other, be it Big Brother, Survivor, Traitors. I've mentioned a couple of these Korean shows. The Devil's Plan is one I'm still trying to watch. There's some devious strategic type games out there. I love them all. The only kind of reality TV that I don't get into quite as much as some of the dating ones. It's just because I'm a little past that time, right? We still watched our share of The Bachelor and Bachelorette, but nah, the ones that's a competition is what I've always really enjoyed. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. And just waiting for the person who comes in and just breaks the game the way they play it. Plays it completely different. I don't know if that means they just come in and they blow the whole thing up and they make all kinds of false accusations just to get people out, whether they're I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm waiting for someone just to come in and steamroll the whole thing one of these seasons. All right. Mark's saying, any word on the start of Big Brother Canada? Now, someone has said March 8th, and then which is no, I take that back. I can't remember what March 8th is a Friday. And I feel like maybe that is not correct. Angie, I think, had told me. Angie, you told me when it started, right? And I think you were correct on that. And I just don't remember. March 6th, maybe. To post it in the comments so I know. But first week or so, or I guess that'd be the second week of March, I think, is when it's going to be kicking off. So pretty quick. Now, as far as I know, we still do not have live feeds, which, okay, Angie's saying yes, in Canada, it starts Tuesday, March 5th. There you go. So, wow, that's really, really quick. That's what, 2 weeks away? I haven't heard anything. They haven't had the cast reveal yet. I'm always so excited to see that. Sometimes without the live feeds, you don't get that 24-hour exposure. So it's a little bit different game, I feel like. Of course, we didn't have that even before they took away the live feeds. Even before then, little Canadian Big Brother, they had seems like it was a bit of a curfew. They all had to be in bed, and seems like everything shut down around 1 o'clock or so. Whereas the folks down here in Burbank, they're up till 4 or 5 in the morning. They used to kill me. It is so hard. I would be so ready to go to bed knowing how miserable I was going to be the next day if I didn't get some sleep. And yet you just can't go to bed while you hear people. I don't know if it's worse when you hear people laughing and having a blast in another room, or when they suddenly get very quiet. Because when they got very quiet, but I knew there was a big group, then I knew they were talking strategy, right? You don't get super quiet if you're just having a fine old time in the bathroom or in the other bedroom. So when they got quiet, I was very quick to jump up. I learned to do that when I worked on the drilling rigs as a roughneck. We'd be out there for 4 or 5 days in a row, sometimes longer than that. So you had to have some downtime where you would sleep. Well, a rig, there's always stuff going on, and it's loud out there. Pipes slamming back and forth, and noise, and people yelling. There's a lot of noise that takes place when you're working on the drilling rig, which I think helped me inside the Big Brother house because I could sleep through all of it. There's nothing that phases me. Sharon will tell you, when I'm tired, you can be having a whole Mardi Gras celebration next door. It ain't gonna phase me. I'll sleep through every bit of it. But out on that rig, the second everything got quiet, I'd wake up immediately. And first thing is, what's wrong? How come the rig's not running pipes? Something's going on. Kind of the same way inside the Big Brother house. As long as I could hear people yelling and everything, I'd be fine. But when the lights were still on and suddenly everything was quiet, I'd be up checking it out a little bit just to see what was going on. So I don't even know where all that started. But anyway, yeah, my mind's just kind of going on its own little tangent. Jake Horror Movie Geek is saying there needs to be a Big Brother Second Chances or fans versus favorites season. Now that would be fun. Fans versus favorites that'd be tough. How would you do that? Because you have, like in Survivor, you can have different tribes maybe or something like that. Inside Big Brother, it'd be hard because let me say this. Having played the game once, I feel so much more qualified to play the game a second time. That first couple of weeks I was in there, just trying to keep my feet on the ground, right? Figure out who was who and what was it. I just worried about forgetting names. No quicker way to get booted than to call someone by the wrong name, right? That was kind of my thinking. So just trying to remember people's names and everything. Now that I've played the game, I feel so much better positioned if I ever went back to play against other people. I have a feeling if you had 8 and 8 favorites versus fans, Favorites would have a or returnees, we'll say, perhaps have a leg up on the fans. Maybe not. You don't want to get cocky, overestimate or underestimate the other side, because then you're always in trouble. But uh, it would be interesting. I've always been a little more partial to. I'm not a huge fan of having a whole lot of returnees, and I'm not a big fan of having just a couple of returnees. I kind of like the seasons that's either all newbies or all returning players. So everyone's kind of starting off in the same foot. I went through enough of my season with people that I felt I had a built-in advantage because they knew each other. Uh, Unfortunately, I had a few people like that in my season. I didn't ever think that was a whole lot of fun or fair. So, yeah, I just seem to have everyone start off on equal footing. So all new or all returning. But yeah, there may be something to be said for that. And second chances that'd be kind of fun. Don't call it all stars, because then there's false expectations, perhaps. But do something, where people maybe that want to come back or deserve second chance and all that. Lawrence Santiago is saying, how about getting a season with only house guests who got evicted first? That'd be interesting. But I'd maybe open it up a little bit. Instead, just saying first, because if you do that, you only have 24 people, 25 people to choose from, which seems like a lot, but a lot of people have moved on and doing different things and all that. And a few people who went out first, a few deserve to go out first, right? I mean, not everyone who went out first was the victim of bad circumstances or bad luck. Some people just weren't quite ready to play the game. So rather than just saying first boots, what if you had a season of nothing but pre-jury people? Which, 5 people per season, 20, that gives you 120 something people or so that can play the game, that would get a second chance. I think that'd be kind of fun, because I know there's some people that either went home and they were huge favorites of the viewing public, and you was like, oh, why'd they go home so early? Or others that just had an unfortunate situation, just didn't quite work out right. I'd love to see that. In fact, y'all remember, I think it was Survivor one season, they had a returning player deal and people voted to bring people back in. I'm not sure that I'm necessarily 100% vote people in, because then you've got people relying on social media, and not always the person who's the most favorite on social media is the one that's going to do best when they come back in and all that. I don't know if I do 100% voting, but maybe have some kind of voting component to get 1 or 2 people in would be kind of interesting as well. I think Big Brother Canada has done that a few years, where they voted 14 people are in the house, or however many you had that season. And then there were 1 or 2 people, like 4 or 5 people left. And of those 4 or 5 people, 1 or 2 people got voted by the public to come in. So it was almost like America's favorite, Canada's favorite before the game started. That would be kind of fun. If you had people, Eric Stein in season 8, I always felt so bad for that guy. I would love to see him come back. He never will. I think he's burned bridges a little bit. It's been a little too long and all that. But I thought he was a fantastic player. But he was America's player, and he had to do what America voted for, and that was tough. But it would be kind of interesting if you had 1 or 2 people that got voted in, and they went in knowing that they're kind of America's pick to play the game. And would that come with the advantage, or with the luxury of getting voted in by the public? Would it also come with some responsibilities? Maybe not how you voted or something, but maybe you'd have to do something a little bit to represent the will of the people. You could have fun with it. I wouldn't want it to get to the point where they couldn't play their game, but you could have some fun little things. When I was in the house, I don't know if I've talked about this before. I carried around Orwell for a long time while I was in the house, right? Just because I was trying to have fun in there, and I'd seen Orwell in all the other seasons. Orwell was kind of my connection to other past seasons. Josh Martinez had carried around Orwell. It just was my way of saying, hey, look, I'm a Big Brother player. Here's Orwell with me. Tommy in particular, but Tommy and Christy and a couple of people saw me walking around with Orwell so much, they thought that I maybe was some kind of America's pick, America's player or something, and that I had tasks that I had to do in order to make money inside the house, in order to survive in the house. And paranoid just ramps up in there, and it just your mind starts spinning with every kind of conspiracy theory and all that. Next thing you know, I didn't realize it, but next thing you know, they thought that I had a task from America to stay attached to Orwell for 24 hours or 48 hours, that there was some kind of money task that I had to do of holding on to Orwell. And they didn't want me to achieve it. Now, first of all, why not? Well, let me win a little money, even if that was the case. But they decided they were going to make sure that I didn't have Orwell. So I think while I was in the shower, Tommy ran in, grabbed Orwell, hid Orwell, waited to see what I did. I spent about 10 minutes looking around for Orwell, and then everyone said, "Oh, we'll help you look, Cliff." And I said, "Yeah, forget that. I'm going to bed." So it didn't quite phase them the way they thought. But then I turned around at one point. I told him, I said, "Yeah, I'm just carrying around Orwell because I know as long as I've got Orwell, who is on Pop TV's mascot and all that, the cameras will be on me, and then I can talk to my family." And there was actually a reason I carried Orwell around. And when Tommy heard that, then they started feeling guilty. Then they all started looking around for Orwell, even though they knew where that stuffed owl was. They had to look around and maintain that they were as concerned as I was. I didn't care that much. It just was irritating that you would think inside a house that's not that big, you shouldn't lose stuff when there's not that much to be had in there anyway. So it was an irritant to me, but I didn't care. It was stuffed out. But eventually, Orwell showed up in the storage room. And later on, it probably was 5 or 6 weeks later, Tommy eventually was all apologetic, came up, "Cliff, I've got to tell you, we stole Orwell. We hid Orwell." He thought I was going to be furious at him. Like, whatever. I don't care. What chapped me more is the fact that if I had been America's player and they had taken away 25K or something from me, then I would have been a little irritated that they didn't let me carry Orwell around. But anyway, there you go. Orwell, I wish we still had Orwell and Big Brother. That's what I would bring back. Luxury food comps and Orwell is what I'd be doing. All right, Angie is saying Big Brother candidate did the vote. Vote in terrible. The player that didn't get in is seen for 5 minutes and then let go. That's the one. Yeah, I agree with that part. I feel bad that a person, I mean, they're packed, they're standing there, they're ready to go in the house. This is their one opportunity, and then they're gone. I feel like someone like that, you'd have to bring them back in a future season because I would feel so guilty otherwise if I was one of the casting people. I always felt like that with a lot of the alternates that said, I don't know for certain how many alternates set with us in sequester before we went to the game. I know there was at least one guy, one woman to keep it all balanced and all of that. And in our case, Christy was the alternate. Think how different our season would have been if Christy did not go into the Big Brother house. She wouldn't have won the very first week's HOH. She wouldn't have had that diamond power veto that screwed up my HOH so much. The whole season, she and Tommy wouldn't have known each other. So he wouldn't have had the same necessarily connections with some of the other. Everything would have changed a little bit if Christy had not been in the house and someone else would have been. Now, I don't know who that other person was that was supposed to come in and then left. I've heard it may have been someone that Kat actually knew. It seems like Kat knew everyone in the house, but I don't know that for certain. So just a grain of salt, take it with but yeah, game would have been completely different. But I always feel bad for those alternates who sit there and then at the end of it have to go home. I talked, and I don't want to go into details because I don't know if they've ever made it public. I talked to one Big Brother person who did their season and then came back for a returning season as an alternate. They had actually more returnees than they had slots. So this person waited in a sequester spot until the show started, hung around for another couple of days. And then they said, "Okay, I think we're good. So thank you for your time. Here's a little something for your time, and go home." That'd be tough. But at least if you already had your shot at Big Brother, not so much. But yeah, Angie, I agree with you. I like the idea of bringing someone in. But yeah, I feel sorry for the people that maybe get the raw end of something like that. All right, Vicky Stone is saying, "What was the best Valentine's gift that you ever gave or received?" You know, I'll tell you one that that meant a lot to me, and it actually has a tie into Big Brother, and it was Valentine's Day, right before I went in the Big Brother house, so 2019 Valentine's Day. I did some origami roses for Sharon. Went and bought some pink construction paper, some red construction paper, made a little origami vase, made, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, maybe half a dozen. I think maybe it's half a dozen roses. Went online, found how to make origami roses, use little straws for the stems, and anyway, I made all these things. It was fun. I always think any gift, and as much as I love my chocolate, the handmade gifts are always a little more special. And so I was very proud to give it to Sharon. I think she liked it. And when I won HOH, I looked through my basket. Yeah, I had donuts, I had canned chili, I had Pop Tarts, I had all kinds of food that I was super excited about. But what really got me most excited was Sharon had sent one of those roses that I had made for her and sent it back and gave it to me in the HOH house. And from that point on, if you watch my season, every Thursday night on the live evictions, I always was wearing that rose, just so she knew I was thinking about her, and it meant a lot. I still have it sitting up right now. Yeah, that was special because I gave it to her and then she gave it back to me while I was in the house. We had one competition. Do y'all remember the competition where it was a double eviction night, the one that Nicole won? We're having to put the puzzle together and then hit the hockey puck or the ball into the hockey goal. I forgot to take my rose off during that competition. And then while I'm putting all these puzzle pieces together, I looked down and I saw that rose right where I was getting ready to put my puzzle piece. And I remember sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, do I just throw the piece on top and crush the rose? Or do I take that extra second or two and move the rose before I put the puzzle piece down and potentially jeopardize my whole game? Because we really wanted to win that HOH and veto. I ended up taking just a second, throwing the rose out of the way, putting the puzzle piece down. And sure enough, Nicole beat me by just a couple of seconds. But it was Nicole, so it all worked out fine, and I won the veto, and everything was okay with that. But yeah, that was my favorite to this day. My favorite Valentine's gift that I've given and that I've received both. So yeah, I'll have that forever. I've probably future descendants will have it as well because it means a lot to both of us. All right, let's see. Miss Fire saying, who do you like from the new Survivor cast? I'll be honest with you, Miss Fire. I haven't seen it. Now, I've seen some names and everything flash up, but I have not really gone out of my way to look at who the cast is. So I need to go take a look because it's coming up, right? I need to do a little research on it and check it out. I don't know. Because I haven't seen a cast breakdown or interviews or anything yet. I did see Jeff Probst came out and said that through at least the next few seasons, there aren't going to be any returning players on Survivor. There's just too much that newbies offer, and they're not planning to bring anyone back through at least the next few seasons. And I get it. And as much, and here's the thing. Survivor's next week. Thank you, Ma. I knew it's coming up. I've seen there's some Survivor watch parties and things like that. I gotta see if there'll be one here in Houston. I've been to a few of those before. They're always a lot of fun. There are a lot of Survivor former contestants here in Houston. Not as many Big Brother former contestants, but although we've got a few. Ian Terry's down here. Josh Weldon used to be down here. He's moved, but we've got a few here and there. Jeremy McGuire. But Houston Survivor people, we've got Karishma, Carl Boudreaux. Who am I thinking of? Forgetting. Lauren Tharp from just down the road over in Beaumont. So there's a few. So it's always fun to do these watch parties and hang out with some of those folks as well. But yeah, it's great because Survivor, Big Brother, you've got some twists here and there, little bits. This week we're going to do this twist and all that. Survivor, sometimes they have bigger twists that affect the whole season, the way the tribes are split up or some things like that. Not always a huge fan of the twist. Some are better than others, but at least even with newbie players, you don't need to bring returning players back to have a fresh look every single season on Survivor. So I'm all for having a lot of newbies. Now, if they want to bring some folks back in, you could bring some Big Brother folks that have never played Survivor and be curious to see how some of us played the game. Can you imagine? I know we've talked about it here before, how fun it would be if you took a bunch of Survivor players, different personalities, different types, people who won, people who didn't win, loud people, quiet people. Bring all the Survivor people, put a season of Big Brother together with Survivor folks. The ones that work great in the outdoors may not work so well where they're locked into the house and there's not as much physical thing going on from day to day. You're just hanging out and doing way too much talking. And then take a whole lot of us from Big Brother, put us out in Fiji in the survivor world and see how we do when we're hungry and tired and thirsty and nothing, and cold and just miserable. I mean, look at Sari. She did great on Survivor for so many seasons. Big Brother, a little bit different beast, and it goes the other way as well. So I would love to see a tie-in with those two shows, the two big granddaddies of them both, and then somehow throw Amazing Race in there as well. Did y'all see? I saw a little was on Twitter, I think, or X or whatever, but America and Corey talking supposedly to some people casting with Amazing Race. Now I'm not sure they're actually the casting folks for Amazing Race, but at least there's a rumor out there that maybe the two of them could do an Amazing Race together. I could see it. I guess I could see it, but yeah, so bring Amazing Race in as well. But put Big Brother on Survivor on Big Brother. I think it'd be interesting to watch. It'd be a lot of fun. All right, Lawrence Santiago. Is Tommy still on Broadway? It's not that he's still on Broadway. He's going back to Broadway, and I am so excited for him. He's going to do the Heart of Rock and Roll, which is a new musical based on the music of Huey Lewis and the News. I've listened to a lot of Huey Lewis and the News in my background. Didn't he do Back to the Future as well? A lot of songs from Back to the Future. There's already a Broadway musical about Back to the Future. Now there's going to be one all with Huey Lewis on the News, so he's getting a little bit of a resurgence here. But anyway, so Tommy's going to be part of the Heart of Rock and Roll. It's at the James Earl Jones Theater. They're on Broadway. I don't think it officially premieres until April. I think they maybe start at the very end of March or something. I don't know how it works. So you don't have your premiere when it first starts. I guess those are like rehearsals or something like that people can watch. I don't know. But anyway, yes, he's coming back to Broadway. And I would love to see him perform again. It's going to be great. Yeah, I may make a trip up to New York just to watch Tommy perform. That would be fun. He probably wouldn't like that. I have a feeling me sitting in the front row with the cowboy hat saying, "You go get him, Tommy." Yeah, probably break his concentration a little bit. He may not appreciate my enthusiasm for him being in the show, but yeah, he's going to be on it. So that's great. So much going on with my Big Brother season 21 cast. Tommy's going on to Broadway. Nicole's getting married. Ovi just got engaged. Did y'all see that? Just a few days ago. I already reached out to Ovi, said, "Man, I'm so proud of you. It's fantastic." Ovi's getting engaged, is engaged. Nicole is getting married. Nick just had his second daughter. Christy just had her twins, and all that within just a month of each other. So, yeah, they're all my chickadees are all growing up. Yeah, I'm really happy for Ovi. He's one of my favorite friends from the house. Ovi and Nicole and I just love those two. I wish Ovi been in the house a lot longer. We would have had so much fun, the three of us together, and Ovi and I, we would have mastered that pool table in the backyard. But yeah, Ovi, my family, before I got out of the house, my family met Hannah. They all hung out and watched the episode, the finale episode, and spent a lot of time together. And then Hannah and Ovi came down to Houston one time as part of a cruise. I showed them around, and yeah, well, one of my favorite people, and I'm so happy for him and Hannah both. So yeah, it was a good week for Big Brother 21, folks. All right, Misfire is saying Cody got married. I saw that. Cody got married. Derek was there. Paulie, obviously his brother, was there. Looked like quite the shindig going on. I did not see a lot of pictures, so I don't know who else from season 16 may have been there or not. But yeah, congratulations to him. That's cool. I've never met him in person. Talked to him just very briefly as part of some group settings here and there for a couple of different things. That seems like a really nice guy. So one of these days, I'd love to meet. Now I've met Paulie in Orlando once or twice. Cody and Paul and Derek not yet. Love to meet them both and just shoot the bull with them. See what's going on in their mind and everything else. All right, May is saying, I miss seeing the Survivor players dealing with weather elements. I remember the year it flooded and the rice was gone. You remember there were a few seasons where, yeah, both hunger and just the conditions. I know one season they had to stop production and evacuate them because they had an absolute typhoon blow in, right? Not hurricanes over there. I guess they're typhoons, but yeah, they've had some rough stuff, and yeah, flooding at campsites and just horrific cold. Oh, can't stand the cold. I could handle going. Of course, now they're only doing what, 29 days or so. I like the old school when it was 42 days, and you didn't have a whole lot of food to eat. You're fighting over that last grain of rice, and I think though they start getting players that basically just said, "Yeah, I'll starve. I'll starve for the next 42 days if I have to." And I think that it maybe got to be a bit of a health issue because you don't see as much focus as you used to on the rice. Now, still a little bit, and they obviously are always still happy when they get the food as part of a win, comp win, things like that. But yeah, in the old days, it just seems like it was a little bit more brutal. And I know Russell Hance, people love Russell or hate Russell. There's not a lot in between with that guy, but he's pretty critical sometimes that he feels like modern day Survivor isn't nearly as rough as it used to be, and that he'd like to see some of that come back. As a person who's watching and not actually out there, I kind of feel the same way. Now, if I was out there, things would be a little different. I actually, again, I think food wise, whatever. I got a little extra packed in. I think I'd be all right for an extended. Put me out there for 6 weeks, I'd still be all right. It's the cold weather, and they never give you enough clothes, right? They'd say, "Yeah, Cliff, you're going to Fiji. We're not going to allow you to have that rainproof, waterproof jacket and the long pants, and the earmuffs have to go." Yeah, they'd have me in a pair of. I'd be like old Philip the Specialist, running around. They'd say, "All right, here's what you get, Cliff: a pair of pink underwear and a tank top or something." Thank you, thanks, guys. That's going to turn the viewers all kinds of crazy watching that go around. Um, yeah, they always say that they don't necessarily get their choice of clothes. They're kind of instructed on what to wear as part of Survivor, and so they said some people get lucky with the long sleeves, others not so much. It just depends on the way things work out. Yeah, that was kind of the way with us on Big Brother. We were pretty much allowed to bring in whatever clothes we wanted, but we did have to get a certain level of approval for the clothes that we wore on the opening day and finale night. We I had people say, "All right, Cliff, send us three or four things, 3 or 4 different looks that you want, and when we'll help you decide." So I took some pictures and sent them in, and I think they came back and said, "Yeah, either one of the first two is fine with us, Cliff." They weren't so worried about me. Uh, I wasn't the fashion diva of the house, so just put it that way. But there was some input, and some of it was the way the cameras look and make sure that everyone stands out from everyone else in terms of colors and all of that. So some of it has to do with operations and film and all that. I think some of it was just them wanting to. If I'd said, "Yeah, I'm not going to wear a hat in the house," they probably say, "Well, yeah, you got to wear a hat, Cliff." But they certainly wanted what we wore that first night in Big Brother to somewhat reflect who they thought we were going to be when we got in the house, or who they expected us to be. I don't know if we all lived up to that or not. I don't know. One of these days I'm gonna track down some of the casting and operations folks and just say, tell me what your expectations were when we came into the house my season versus what we gave you. Who overperformed? Who maybe underperformed? I could make a few guesses here and there, but I'm not gonna do it. All right. And Nunez 1919 says, "You couldn't pay me enough to do Survivor." And Marilyn says, "No way I'd do Survivor. I'm too bougie." Nah, I'd do it. I sit here and joke around that I'd do Naked and Afraid. So put me on Survivor. And Miss Fire say Naked and Afraid. Yeah, whatever. It wouldn't be the naked part that would bug me on Naked and Afraid. It'd be all those little mosquitoes flying around biting me where I don't want to be bit, and sunburning me where I don't want to be burned. If you know what I mean. And just the cold weather. Yeah, the nude part, that'd be 5 minutes in. Be like, yeah, okay, well that was exciting. Now let's just try to survive for 21 days. Yeah, Survivor. You know what would probably irritate me more than anything else? It wouldn't be the temperatures. It wouldn't be the food. It would be me busting my rear end trying to win one of these comps, knowing that my very life in my torch fire is life, as they say. That my very life in that torch was on the line if I didn't win this competition. Me going hardcore and having Jeff Probst over on the side saying, "Come on, get in it, Cliff. You're not going to win if you do that." I've talked to some people who said he really eggs them on. Some of the folks that maybe are starting to give up, he'll kind of push them a little bit, which I don't mind that. But also, he likes to maybe poke a little bit, or at least keep people fired up throughout the whole process. I have a feeling that there'd be at some point when I'm a little hungry, I'm a little cold, I'm a little stressed out from the competition. Jeff starts yelling at me that I'm not quite pushing the way I need to push, and yeah, I'm a positive guy, and I would try to stay positive as well. But yeah, that would be the tough part, and I say it jokingly. Favorite host of all time. I like Julie Chen, but Jeff Probst is my goat when it comes to reality TV hosting and all that. Uh, Part of it's because he actually is in the game. Julie interviews us after the show. He sits at tribal council and he prods people. He pulls out information. I think that's amazing the way he does that. Ma saying, I would sign up for Survivor if Cliff was the host. Well, Ma, if I was a host, you wouldn't have to sign up because I'd be reaching out to you. I'd be the host and they'd be saying, "Oh my gosh, all these people seem to know each other." Well, yeah, they hung out on Monday nights for a long time together. That would be hard. How hard would it be if I'm sitting there with a whole bunch of y'all folks from here, and I'm having to ask the hard, tough questions about, are you really sure you trust this person, and all that? That'd be fun. It's got to be. I mean, Jeff Probst has seen so many seasons of Survivor, right? He was there at the very beginning when people were first starting to develop strategy. Richard Hatch and Susan Hawks and all season one, and Rudy, and now he's here to the very end. He's involved not just in hosting, which is what he originally did, but now he's executive producer. He does. You don't get on Survivor unless you pass the Jeff test, right? I think there's some sort of interview. I don't know how formal it is, but you got to talk to him. And if he's not signing off on you, you're not making it onto the show. So he is very much responsible for the success of Survivor. So who could possibly replace Jeff Probst if he ever decided to leave that show? I don't know. It wouldn't be the same without him. All right, and Nunez 1919. The house guests dressed up for eviction night. Most nights, the way it worked, they wouldn't tell us what the competition was going to be that night. But lots of times they would say, "Okay, house guests, dress however you want." There normally were 3 levels. They'd say, "House guests, dress however you want for the eviction ceremony tonight," which meant that either the HOH competition was going to be later in the evening, so it didn't matter, or it was going to be something like standing in a booth answering questions. Sometimes they'd say, "Dress the way you want, but make sure you're wearing clothing that is somewhat that you can move around in." And then we knew, okay, maybe this means going out and hitting a ball, or maybe putting a puzzle together, something like that. And then every once in a while they'd say, "All right, cast guests, you put on some waterproof microphones and you need to get ready," and all that. When Kat and I were both on the block together, it was the slip and slide night. And Kat and I had to wear our leotards. I guess everyone, not leotards, our lederhosen. I guess everyone's having to wear them. I just remember Kat and I. Oh, and it felt so bad because everyone had different color lederhosen, except for Kat and I. We both had the exact same orange color lederhosen. And it's because they knew one of us was going home. One of us was not going to be competing in the competition, so they could duplicate colors. I remember Kat was so irritated, saying, "Oh my God, I'm gonna have to go outside and talk to Julie Chen while I'm wearing my lederhosen instead of some fancy outfit that she had planned." I think she had fun with it and it worked out fine. But yeah, I know, especially I tried to dress up a little bit more, long sleeve shirts, and I'd iron and make it a little bit nicer, just in honor of the person that was going home. Someone's game was ending every Thursday night, and I just felt it was important for me to kind of be respectful enough to dress up a little bit and make it a little bit more formal because of it. Now, I know some people did it just because live TV and they wanted to look, exquisite. The term they use for Julie Chen last night, "You look exquisite, Julie." A lot of the house guests want to look exquisite. There are some of the women in my season that I got so used to seeing them day in, day out. after a while, you lose a lot of modesty. Makeup and all that. Sometimes you got it on, sometimes you don't. So I got used to seeing them in their more natural state. And then all of a sudden, Thursday night, eviction night comes along. It's like, oh my gosh, y'all got all fancied up. Wow, it's amazing. So yeah, everyone tended to dress up for the most part for eviction night, and then everyone would dress up super fancy for finale night as well. I did not realize my finale night. Everyone in jury house started comparing notes and deciding that they wanted to get fancier and fancier with the way they dressed. They weren't allowed to communicate with the outside world, but they were able to talk to producers or PAs or whoever was at the jury house and say, can you reach out to my family and have them send my suit or such and such shirt? Because I want to wear it at finale night. And apparently they did it and they got a lot of it in. Because I know Tommy had requested a specific suit and outfit and everything. And his parents they messed up. Instead of sending Tommy's, they sent his brothers instead. But yeah, so they all shared notes and decided they were going to dress super fancy. I didn't know that because I was never at the jury house. All I know is that suddenly I see them all on finale night. It's like, oh my gosh, guys, y'all are incredibly well dressed. I was wearing jeans and a nice shirt and everything. So it's not like I was there in shorts and a tank top. But yeah, everyone wants to look nice on your last chance to be on TV, I suppose. All right, let's see. Andy Yum Yum saying Cliff in a leotard. Yeah, you don't want to see that, Andy. Later hosen were rough enough. I still have those later hosen. Now I'm not gonna model them. Maybe I should. Maybe that'll. I'm not really involved in TikTok. Maybe me wearing later hosen and doing the chicken dance or something. Maybe get a couple of views here and there on TikTok. But yeah, I've got the later hosen in there somewhere. Yeah, it's funny. A lot of those costumes we wore in the Big Brother house, not the fanciest of stitching and all that, because they were quick. Lots of times they don't know until last minute who's still in the house, who's not in the house, who's got picked to play in veto, who hadn't gotten picked to play. So a lot of those kind of outfits, they aren't necessarily stitched. You've got the stitch glue instead. So everything just kind of glued in place, and patches they're just glued on versus sewn on. It's all about efficiency when you get to the costuming department there for CBS. And I know those later hosen, not the thickest of leather. I don't even know if they're leather. They're probably like polyvinyl or something. But yeah, a little bit concerned during that slip and slide that I just gonna split my pants. Just like old SpongeBob, I split my pants. I had a couple times where those outfits were maybe not quite as comforting or as comfortable as I thought. But I may be showing a lot more on live TV than people are expecting. That would have been the way to go viral, right? Yeah, look at old Cliff. He split his pants right in the middle of that competition. Of course, no one cared because right next to me is Jackson Mickey, who's just ripping his pants off so he can finish the thing and proceeding anyway. So who would have cared about it? It was a fun comp. I knew I had zero chance to win it, but so iconic that I got to do slip and slide. I wasn't ready to quit. Even after we knew who the winner was, after he won, I still kept doing it because why not? It's your only chance to do something like that. All right, let's see. What else do we have on here? Andy M. Yeah, still watch your slip and slide clip from time to time, Cliff. The dad bod works for you. You know what was hard on that competition? Now, let's not pretend. In the best of situations, I'm not winning that competition. Yeah, I just didn't want to come in last. And I think I finished somewhere in the middle. I got beat probably by Nick and Jackson, Mickey, and Christy, maybe Sis, I think maybe. But here's the thing: I had torn my my calf muscle a little bit during my HOH run, which was just a few weeks before that, and it was so hard doing that slip and slide because the only way you could get down that thing without slipping, even worse, trying to get back up to the top on that slip and slide, was to really push off hard to get a good running start. Because you had zero traction on your feet. So you had to push off against something. Trying to push off with that torn calf muscle just killed me. Every time I did it, I just was worried I was doing more damage, but I had to do everything I could. And I would try to push off with the other leg, but it's just hard working your feet. There was a time or two I fell, and that wasn't but 6 inches from the top. I thought, surely I can just dig my nails in and pull myself up. 6 inches away might as well be a mile. I'd still slide back to the end, have to start all over again. It was hard. It's a lot of fun, though. That stuff was slippery. So slippery. I had no clue. All right. Lawrence Santiago is saying, I was in the audience once, saw Rockstar get evicted. Well, that's a pretty iconic time to be in there. That's pretty cool, Lawrence. So that's pretty neat. And then Cindy, Cindy, I'm glad you're posting here because Cindy Hire be in the audience for an eviction this season, invited by Julie Chen. Yeah, and I'm incredibly jealous of that as well, Cindy. We want a full report when you do it, when you get back. So make sure you're taking plenty of notes. But having said that, we talked about at the very beginning. It's about 7:53. So yeah, this is a good time to break and talk about this. Uh, as I mentioned in the beginning, Cindy's birthday is today. Cindy, a true friend. Cindy's been on here as long as anyone watching my show. She's a moderator. Thank you for everything that you do, Cindy. She actually won a Zoom call that benefited Give Kids the World a lot. She and I talked on Zoom for an extended period of time. You know me, once I start talking, I go for a while. But I had a blast talking to Cindy. And so, with that in mind, and being her birthday, Ma got me thinking about this a few weeks back, and I think it's a great idea. And I want to try it out with Cindy. So, it's Cindy's birthday. She's got a lot of other stuff she's planning this evening as a celebration, I'm sure. But next week, as a special guest, if you're still up for it, Cindy, I want to get Cindy on the show, learn a little bit more about you. Now, I know a lot about you, but I want everyone else a chance to learn a bit here and there, including I need to hear more about your conversation that you had with Julie, because I guarantee you spent more time talking to Julie than I got to the night I was evicted or finale night. So I'd love to get your thoughts on all of that, and just to get your thoughts on Big Brother reality TV, Julie Chen, everything else. And so we're gonna do it next week, and we'll find Cindy. I'll send you the link. We'll get it all worked out between now and then, but. Cindy's going to be our special guest next week. So, guys, it's going to be a blast. We're going to have fun talking about that. And Cindy, I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And maybe we'll come up with a few questions that we would make sure that you keep in the back of your head when you're over in LA this season, sitting in one of those things, in one of the live studio audiences. I'm so glad we got live studio audiences back. So, yeah, again, did I say before? I'm a little jealous that you're getting to do that, Cindy. I miss my Big Brother house. So yeah, we're gonna have Cindy next week. I'm looking forward to it, and certainly we'll be promoting that a little bit between now and then. And the excitement doesn't end there, because the following week I've got another special guest, and it's not finalized yet, so I'm gonna be a little mysterious just for the fun of it. But I have a guest, a former Big Brother house guest who was not in my season. In fact, this house guest was in the most previous season. Big Brother 25, one of Big Brother 25 house guests is going to be joining me. I think not next Monday. That's Cindy, and then the following Monday, I think we're going to get this house guest on, and I'm gonna stay all sneaky and mysterious about it just because it makes it more fun. So yeah, we're trying to work that out, and I think we're going to arrange that. And y'all know me, I'm all about the positivity. So we'll talk a little bit of strategy, but mainly I want to get this person's thoughts on just being in the house and what they experienced. And I want y'all to have a chance to ask a whole lot of questions as well. So be thinking about your questions. Next Monday, Cindy and I'll tell y'all who it's going to be at that point in time. And then you can start thinking some questions. But yeah, it's going to be fun. I may start doing that more often. Not that I don't love hearing my own voice and answering y'all's questions, but I think until we start up our Big Brother a little bit later this summer, it may be fun to get some other folks in here and hear a little input here and there. So if y'all have house guests, not just house guests, anyone that maybe you'd like to be on the show, let me know. Send me a DM, Twitter or Instagram, or you can do it out here as well. But let me know maybe who y'all like to see, and no promises. Some people may not even answer the phone when I call, but some may. Let me know who y'all like to get on, and maybe we'll do that. Not every week, but every other week or so. We may do that. But at least two more or less set in stone. Cindy next week, and then a Big Brother 25 house guest the following week, and then who knows after that. It's got to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. We got to do something for the off season, right? So that's what we're gonna do. Bring in a few extra voices and see what they may have to say about it. And find out what Julie Chen is really about. Yeah, I know you got the scoop, Cindy. So it's gonna be a lot of fun on that as well. All right, let's see. With that in mind, I think we'll go ahead and shut it. shut it down. Make sure I vocalize that just right. We're going to go ahead and shut it down. Guys, y'all have a fantastic Monday. Enjoy as we start turning into spring. Get your sleep in because, again, Big Brother Canada, we don't have the overnight feeds, but we still have Big Brother season coming upon us. That and Survivor both, and Traitors. There's always something going on in reality TV, right? So y'all have a fantastic Monday. I'll get you between now and the next couple of weeks. We'll promote some of this a little bit more. So you'll be seeing a few posts here and there, which is another reason to turn on subscribe and turn on your notifications for my YouTube channel, because who knows what kind of craziness we may do between now and the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. There's all kinds of stuff going on that I'll be talking more about later. So please consider when you're out there subscribing, thumbs up as well. I don't know if you can give 2 thumbs up, but at least one is always sweet. Y'all have a fantastic President's Day. Go eat some mint chocolate chip, and I'll finish off with this. I know every state has different primaries. If you're eligible to vote and your primary is coming up, do it. I don't care how you vote, who you vote for. If you don't vote, you're not part of the process. So I'll just finish it off with that public service announcement. Get out and vote and be part of the democratic process if you're old enough and eligible. So guys, y'all have a fantastic Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Until next week, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Y'all have a great one. Bye. It was a couple of weeks ago I couldn't turn this off. We'll see if it works better now. All right, guys, y'all have a great one. Bye.